Good afternoon, dear teachers, dear colleagues. Today we are going to talk about sport and exercises. As the theme of the lesson is sport and exercises, I'd like to introduce learning objectives. The learning objectives are: understand more specific information in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics. Recognize the opinion of the speakers in unsupported extended talk on a wide range of general and curricular topics, and explain and justify their own point of view on a wide range of general and curricular topics. So, the language objectives are: use and increase variety of prepositions before nouns and adjectives, use a variety of preverbal, postverbal, and position, use appropriate subject-specific vocabulary and syntax to talk about general topics, explain and justify their own point of view on a wide range of general and curricular topic. Lesson objectives are: identify the vocabulary related to exercise and describing exercises, have a debate on the theme of sport, use the vocabulary while describing an exercise, give arguments to their opponents on the given topic, use comparative adverbs to compare and contrast different exercises, explain and justify their arguments, and give rebuttal. So, at the beginning of the lesson, I tried to elicit the theme of the lesson from students, showing them 4 different pictures related on sport: sportsperson, equipment, exercise, sport, and place. I asked students what comes to their mind and what is our lesson about. For this activity, you can be given 3 minutes. After they are guessing the theme of sport and exercises, I introduced the objectives which are on the whiteboard to make clear for students the outcome of the lesson, so they could evaluate their own achievements. After I write the theme on the board, this activity is very useful for creative and critical thinking. The aim of this activity is giving challenge, eliciting the theme, and making learners reflect on the theme. All learners are motivated by their attention and fantasy. So these are 4 pictures, and students are to find the word. So then, before showing the video that demonstrates the vocabulary to describe the exercises, I give learners new words and tell them to match a list of new vocabulary with the definitions and learn new words. This task is an individual work, but after completing it, students share answers with partners. This task can be difficult for them, so for clarifying the challenging activity, I give them hints by gestures or explaining some parts of words as prefixes x and in. For this task, I give them only 5 minutes. So this is the list of new words. Exhale means to move or go with short, quick movement. Inhale, to breathe in, draw in by breathing. Extend, to stretch out, draw out to the full length. Bend forward, bend back, bend to the left, bend to the right, means to become curved, crooked, or bent. Stretch means to extend the hand or to reach as for something. Tighten, so this word, you can show this word, for example, tighten. Tighten means the opposite of relax. Rotate, to cause to turn around the center point. You can show this word by gestures and by moving. So, lunge, any sudden forward movement. Wiggle means to move or go with short, quick movements from side to side. So this very activity helps learners enrich vocabulary and do the next activity. For the assessment, I choose a card of a famous sportsman, which is given to one of the first learners who completes the task quickly and without mistakes. Next stage, I ask students what we can do to stay fit and keep in shape. Students give their answers. I write some interesting ideas on the board. The main keyword is doing exercises. Then I switch on the video with exercises and get students' attention. While watching the video, I demonstrate exercises. Activity is done with the whole class. Now you can watch the video.
Stand up straight and look to the left. Look to the left. Look to the left. Now look to the right. Look to the right. Look to the right. Look to the right. Now look to the sky. Look to the sky. Look to the sky. Look to the sky. Now look to the ground. Look to the ground. Look to the ground. Look to the ground. Put your arms up high and stretch to the sky. Stretch to the sky. Stretch to the sky. Put your arms real low and touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. With your left hand point to the right. To the right. To the right. With your right hand point to the left. To the left. To the left. Put your left foot forward and lunge. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Put your right foot forward and lunge. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Put your left foot forward and lunge. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Put your right foot forward and lunge. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Reach back. Put your left foot in your hand and stretch it out. 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 Reach back. Put your right foot in your hand and stretch it out. 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 Sit on the floor with your back up straight. We're gonna stretch it out now, and it's gonna feel great. Put your legs straight out and touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Pull your left foot in and stretch to the right. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Pull your right foot in and stretch to the left. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Pull both legs in and stretch it out. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Stand up straight and wiggle your head. Wiggle your head. Wiggle your head. Stand up straight and wiggle your arms. Wiggle your arms. Wiggle your arms. Stand up straight and wiggle your hips. Wiggle your hips. Wiggle your hips. Stand up straight and wiggle your legs. Wiggle your legs. Wiggle your legs.
So, students get together and try to do exercises and learn new words. This activity is useful not only for consolidation of new words, but also for making them move. Actually, being physically active warms them up. For the assessment on this stage, again, I choose a card of a famous sportsman, which is given to one of the first learners who does an exercise rightly. The next step is students taking pieces of cut paper, go around the class, showing and looking at each other's cuts of papers, and they should make one complete picture of a type of sport. Students to complete one picture will work in one group. I divide students into two groups and tell them to come up with their own exercise and use the vocabulary to describe their exercise. Then groups will exchange their descriptions and see if the other group can perform the exercise. Then students go outside, stand in a circle, and practice the use of these words, demonstrating them in action. For this activity, I think 8 minutes are enough. Those who make clear instructions and use as many new words as possible are given again a card of famous sportsmen. The aim of this activity is to identify the meaning of words and use vocabulary in the context of sport. Group work is useful for feeling respect and responsibility to other members of the group because it demands working in collaboration. It's a way of making fun and consolidating new words. So, the next. In the same two groups, students debate on the topic. I introduce the rules of the debate and hand out rubrics for peer assessment, and only then I introduce the topic of the debate. Should professional athletes make more money than public servants like teachers, doctors, police officers, firefighters, and etc.? So then one representative of each group comes up and has a debate. The rules, the criteria are: name their group, they should be ready to give rebuttal for each argument, and in order to assess students' performance, they use rubrics. So they should follow also the rules, think of 2 arguments to defend their position, and other group should be ready to give a rebuttal for each argument. As you can see, this is a debate rubric. One group write their name, then the debate topic or position, and the date. So the first, for example, viewpoint. If the viewpoints are clear and organized, they give to their second group 3 points. If the most viewpoints are clear, of course they give 2 points. And if viewpoints are unclear and disorganized, they give 1 point. If the arguments are supported with facts and examples, they give 3 points. If most arguments are supported with facts and examples, they give to each other 2 points. If the arguments lack factual support, they give each other 1 point. Relevance of supporting arguments. If all supporting arguments are relevant, they give 3 points. Many but not all supporting arguments are relevant, they give 2 points. Few supporting arguments are relevant, they give each other 1 point. And strength of arguments. All arguments are strong and convincing, they give each other 3 points. If the arguments are convincing, they give each other 2 points. If the arguments are not convincing, they give each other 1 point. Speaking voice. Voice can be always heard. Voice is heard most of the time. 2 points. Voice is difficult to hear. 1 point. Preparation. Students is well prepared. 3 points. Students needs more preparation. 2 points. Student is unprepared to defend argument. 1 point. So total score is 18, and the whole time for debate is 10 minutes, 5 minutes for preparation, 2 minutes for performance, 1 minute for peer assessment, and 2 minutes for feedback. I ask learners firstly to give positive feedback on opposing group performance, then I give feedback on students' performance, peer assessment, and the speech. Then I identify the winner group. This activity helps work in cooperation and develop speaking fluency. On the last stage of the lesson, in 2 groups, students play multi-cue quiz game. I explain the rules of this game. This game. There are 6 topics related to sport. I switch on slideshow of multi-cue quiz game. 1 student from each group comes and chooses the theme and point. Each point has question. The student to raise his hand answers the first. I write points on the board and at the end identify the winner group. Students spend 5 minutes on the game. This quiz is really good for learners' outlook, quick reaction and collaboration. Students play this game with pleasure. The end of the lesson is coming. I ask learners individually think back over the lesson about their knowledge of sport and the verbs they learned. They can look at the lesson objectives to evaluate themselves. Also, I ask them to justify their responses. In conclusion, some words about the lesson. I think the lesson is not so easy as it looks. Thanks to their attitudes to sport, it is motivating and challenging enough. Okay, and this is time for feedback. Learners individually think back over the lesson. One more about their knowledge of sport and verbs they learned. They can look at the lesson objectives to evaluate themselves. Also, teacher asks them to justify their responses. Thank you for your attention. This is the site where you can get the lesson. Okay, goodbye.